Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. Now, I'm your host, C Money, and today I want to do a two-part series. I am in the beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I am in Fort Lauderdale's Riverwalk, which is also called Riverfront, and this is at night. Why I said I want to do a two-part because tomorrow in the daytime, I will be coming back out here in the daytime and showing you the daytime of it. This is the river that flows through Fort Lauderdale, and there are a lot of amenities around here. If you notice, there's the famous Los Olas Boulevard, which is where a lot of the nightlife and the clubs and a lot of the restaurants and stuff. Over here, you see the museum. Fort Lauderdale, the Museum of Discovery and Science, which is a place where a lot of the families bring their kids, and they also have an IMAX theater there as well. Hello. This is apparently a stage. Not a lot of performances going on this stage, because over here is the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. So why would you need a stage right here when you have the Broward Center for Performing Arts? And also, this is a marina where a lot of the boats dock their boats at. We're going to take a little walk through here. I'm not going to be on here long. I was supposed to be using my Chromebook for this episode, but the lighting out here on my Chromebook is not very good, especially when you're doing a video. When you're taking a picture, it is nice lighting, but as a video, it's no lighting, so I'm using my cellular device. Let me tell you a little bit about Riverwalk. Riverwalk is a walkway along the waters of Fort Lauderdale waterways, and it is an historical area because a lot of homes and houses, a lot of buildings that was here. This is the famous Fort Lauderdale seat that a lot of people like to take pictures in. I took a picture here a while back, but not with me in it, but a picture just I have in my phone. And a lot of these places here are historical buildings that have been moved over here because this is like a historical building or a house district. I'm going to show you one of the buildings, and of course we're going to go through the buildings as we do part 2 tomorrow. We're gonna do all that, so I'm just gonna let you know how it is and what it's all about and everything, so basically the history behind it. You're gonna see some of the buildings. Over here is, you can't really see, I told you the lightning. Well, my lightning is good on my cellular device. It's just that there's dark area. This is where the water taxi hosts station is at, meaning that's where their building is at for the water taxi. That's not where you catch the water taxi, but that's where their maintenance yard or whatever you want to call it building is at. Okay. Excuse me. It's okay. People like to ride their bikes here, and this is another historical building that is there. Oh, there's a water taxi coming in, and its last from its last run. This building actually used to be a restaurant. At one point, they were serving drinks and foods here at this location. This is a little hut right here if you want to have a little party or an event, or you want to propose or have a little wedding or something. I see they got some decorations up. That means somebody must have had something out here. We're not going to go too far because there's a bridge here, and the bridge, once you cross the bridge, then you'll be over on the Los Olas area. There's a street over on there where there's a lot of clubs, nightclubs. A lot of bars, I should say. And I've been to one of them, so it's not as bad as you think it is. So I've been to one of them. So this is called the Museum of History. There's no trespassing. A lot of these buildings that are here are basically see-through buildings. At one point, a couple of years ago, they used to have cars. They used to be in these buildings. They used to tell you can't touch the cars or go inside the cars and stuff like that. But I guess they removed the cars, I guess, for that main reason that a lot of people kept going inside the cars and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of history artifacts over here. Let me see if I can get to this building's information. I mean, a lot of the buildings you're going to see in part 2, because this is the nightlife of it. This is the old Fort Lauderdale Village. Old Fort Lauderdale Village at the intersection of the New River and the Florida East Coast Railway incorporated 4 turns of the 20th century historical buildings. These included in the 1905 New River Inn, the 1905 Philemon Inn Bryan House, the 1905 a coloring building, in the 1907 King Cromartie House. Yeah, this was the New River Inn, I think. If you come and look, it says New River Inn right there. I mean, I'm not going to go into details because a lot of these places we're going to see in part 2 when I do part 2 tomorrow, because I want to show you in the daylight as well. This is called History Fort Lauderdale. I see the little sign right there, History Fort Lauderdale. You'll get a better understanding of a lot of these places when we do part 2 in the morning. And across the waterway, there's a restaurant there, because you can see the beer, neon lighting beer signs on the 2nd floor. So a lot of these, you know, this is a history, also entertainment. You know, Fort Lauderdale nightlife has a lot of entertaining stuff here for you, and there's a lot of history behind these stuff. And a lot of these buildings, you can go in and you can learn about the history of these buildings, and you can also learn about, you know, you can also have nightlife or whatever. There's a nice little clock there, like one of them clocks you see in New York. But yeah, basically you can learn a lot of history. A lot of people like to come out here at night. They come, oh, this seat is kind of wet because it's been raining a little bit. They come to exercise, jog. Some people go walking through here because it's nice and quiet and it's near the water. It's cool, relaxing. As I told you, there's a train tracks right there. That train tracks house not only the transport cargo, but it also is the Bright Line, the tracks for Bright Line. If y'all don't know about Bright Line, it's a commuter train that for right now transport passengers from the Miami to the West Palm Beach area, with a stop in Fort Lauderdale. And in the next year or 2 or so, they will be extending their services to the Orlando area and also adding more stops to it, because from Miami to Fort Lauderdale is 30 minutes, and from Miami to West Palm Beach is an hour, and it's supposed to be from Miami to Orlando is 2 hours, but it might be a little bit more longer than that, because Bright Line is supposed to be a high-speed rail. I've caught it before, and you're going to actually see an episode of it. I'm going to do an episode of Bright Line, but this is not why, you know, I'm not going to get too much into Bright Line. But yeah, this is the tracks that horizon. There is a train that's going to be coming. I don't know when, but I'm not going to sit here and wait on the train to actually come so y'all can see the train. But as I came up here, because I took Tri-Rail, which is another commuter train, but that service is from Miami to West Palm Beach with more stops than Bright Line. Bright Line has fewer stops than the Tri-Rail. So, and I might do a show on Tri-Rail too, but once again, we're not doing an episode on Tri-Rail right now. We're doing an episode on Riverwalk. I came up on it's called Riverwalk, but as I came up, walking up, I seen a big old sign outside that said Riverfront. There's a lot of restaurants. I've been to some of the restaurants. There's a lot of nighttime bars. I've been to one of them a couple of years ago. It's a nice area. A lot of people come out here mainly for the nightlife. There is daytime life. As you know, that we're going to be doing a daytime episode of this as well. This is, I would want to say, this is part of hot spots in South Florida, but this is also part of history. part of the history, because this, in tomorrow when we do the episode, we're going to be talking about the history of Fort Lauderdale, and we're going to be talking about the history of all these buildings that was, some of these were moved to this location to preserve them, because as you know, in Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and not only here but in other cities and states, a lot of buildings have gotten demolished or have gotten moved to make way for new development. I remember when I visited Atlanta and I went to visit Dr. King's house, and I went to the church, where Dr. King was preached. They told us that the house that him and Coretta lived in got demolished for a highway. They built the highway where Dr. King and Coretta Scott King actually lived at, because they didn't live in the house Dr. King was born in. They lived in the house further down, but there is no historical sign or anything that said this is where Dr. King and his wife Coretta Scott King raised their kids. So it was like, so a lot of these homes, a lot of these buildings got moved over here to be restored as a store. Now how they do it, I honestly I can't tell you, but with time goes on, you learn about a lot of these places. I'm gonna take another little walk. We came to the end of our destination, because Riverwalk is not a big area unless you go across the tracks, because there is a section where the pedestrians can go across the tracks, but it's not a big area. If you go across the tracks, you're gonna go into basically Riverwalk, where there's a lot of hotels and nightlife and apartments and condos and stuff like that, but we're not really getting into that part of Riverwalk. We're just getting into this part. And then there's a lot of, there's apartments and stuff over here too, more restaurants and stuff like that, but we'll get into that as the story as we go in. And
I want your support. You know how I've been. I was like, Mark.
Also, if you see on the ground, there's a lot of carvings. There's a lot of memorials. I don't know what these memorials have to places. Must be famous people or people who have significant ties to Fort Lauderdale as well. Here we are back. This is like I said, this is the yard where the water taxi, Jose Juan, the water taxi, if you know, it's a taxi on water. It transports you to different locations. From my understanding, there's one in Miami, but it's not as popular as the one in Fort Lauderdale, because Fort Lauderdale has several stops. Oh wow, I believe there's supposed to be a train coming, because I hear a bell. So let's see if that's the case, if there is a train coming, because I do hear a bell. So we're gonna figure out if that's an actual train. But yeah, the bridge actually stays up until there's a train coming, and then it actually comes down. So boaters have an opportunity to go back, but at nighttime there's not too many boaters that come out at night, because of the fact that who boats at night. It's more visible in the daytime. Well, I'm gonna, even if the tracks don't come down, I'm just gonna give you a closer look at. There, you're gonna see the area more in the daytime as we do part 2. This is called History Fort Lauderdale. I'm gonna see if they have another side of it. Yes, it's another side, History Fort Lauderdale. I guess that's for the people who are boating. I'm guessing that it's not coming down. I guess they're just coming in. Oh, there's a checkerboard. You can't see it. That's why I said we're gonna do another episode in the daytime. This is one of the episodes that I rarely do. Like, I rarely do episodes at night because of this same reason. But as a YouTube channel show, I try to give you the what you can see as like real as it can be, because this is what you see at Nightlife. This Nightlife here is beautiful. Las Olas to me is the equivalent to maybe South Beach of Miami. It's a nightlife, And there's also a daytime life, but the nightlife is more lively. And it's more of a thing for most people. Like during the daytime, there is, there's a bell, but I don't know if it's for the actual boat. It keeps ringing. I don't know if it's actually for the tracks to come down. Because I don't know if you're gonna actually see a bright line train come or not throughout this episode. Because this episode is not gonna be long, because we're gonna do another episode tomorrow. In the daytime, I should say. I'm not gonna say when it is, but it's gonna be in the daytime. I just want to do, and this is gonna be one of few videos that I'm going to do as far as the nightlife, because I want to give you an overlook of the nightlife in certain areas and give you an overlook because, like when I visit Orlando, I didn't do the nightlife in Orlando. I just, did a video of Star Island, and I was supposed to do a video of Fun Spot and stuff like that, so I didn't do that. But this is one of the very few videos that I'm going to be giving you the nightlife view of things. There's a guy over there across the street at the restaurant. I guess he's one of the workers at the restaurant, is making sure everything is good before he locks up the place. I guess the restaurant is closed. A lot of these restaurants I see, they especially this one, it's not open late. It is late. I'm not going to say what time it is, but it is late. So a lot of these restaurants, but Las Olas, you go to Las Olas, there's a lot of restaurants that stay open till probably 2-3 in the morning. Like I say, Las Olas to me is like an equivalent of South Beach, because a lot of restaurants open till like 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, especially the clubs. But in Fort Lauderdale, I've been to a lot of clubs where the clubs close like around 2 or 3 in the morning. It's not like as opposed to Miami, where a lot of the clubs are open till like 5 in the morning. So, and of course, if you're in a city where your clubs close early, please, let us know. Hey, I live in this city and the clubs close early. When I visited Georgia, and I went to a club with a friend of mine who used to live in Albany. We went to a club, and their clubs closed at 2 in the morning. I say, for Albany, that kind of is a good thing, because in Albany, Albany's nightlife and Atlanta's nightlife is different, because I visited Atlanta, Georgia's nightlife, and it's a nice nightlife, but it's just, Albany's nightlife is not how, Atlanta's is. It's not full of life, just like Fort Lauderdale, and a lot of people come in and out through this walkway. Some people come to relax, some people come because it's to get from one area to the next, without having to go through all, because, if you go on the next street, there's a lot of traffic, because there's people walking back and forth from bar to bar, and they're going to restaurants and stuff like that. So it's a lot of commuter traffic, and it's a lot of vehicle traffic. And I've seen that they had half of the road blocked off because they was doing construction, I guess underground in the sewer or something like that. So they was doing construction. So there's a lot of commuter and vehicle traffic. So this is the back way of getting back and forth. And I visited the Museum of Discovery and Science. I haven't visited in years. The last time I've been is probably when I took my nephew. And my nephew now in his teenage years, and my nephew was a little kid, so that could tell you how long it's been since I've been to the Museum of Discovery and Science. Of course, I'm going to visit it once more again, because I really want to do a show with it. I did a show, that I want to be part of Hotspot in South Florida. So, as I say, this is Riverwalk. This is Fort Lauderdale. This is part 1 of it. Part 2 we're going to do tomorrow. In the daytime, I'm going to show you a lot more of the daytime part of it. I just want to give you the nighttime part of it. It is kind of beautiful at night. I wouldn't say, don't be scared, don't be skeptical. I have visited this area plenty of times at night. People probably, if you're watching this, you're probably saying, this is scary, this night. You don't scared about getting robbed. I say, in a way, I'm not scared about anything happening to me here, because you have to realize, a lot of people commute this way because of the fact that this is near a lot of businesses, a lot of nightclubs and bars and shops and stuff. I don't know if you can hear, but there's music over here on the other side of the train is as I can see, there is a train coming, and it's the tracks are coming down. If you can see from right here, the train tracks, that means that the boat, you can't see it because it's not working. There is a sign right there that sits right near the handle where it lets the boaters know. But there's a, one of them, street signs, the street signage that they have when they're doing construction is right here near the walkway, because the other sign is not working. They are so it's letting the boaters know, okay, this is what it's what and everything. Now this sign can't tell you if a train is coming or not or whatever, but that sign does, because it's connected to the bridge and it has a sensor that basically you might see a white line train, because I believe there is another white line train coming. When White Line opened back up after the pandemic, everybody was offered a free ride, and I took upon having a free ride. When I do these things, I forget to actually do a show, because I'm like, oh, I need to do an episode, and I forget to do an episode of on these things, so that means there is a train coming. Hopefully within time the train will come. The tracks normally come down maybe 10 or 15 minutes prior to the train coming, so it'll give a more timeage to the train coming, so we're gonna actually see, because actually right here you're less than 5 minutes away from the Fort Lauderdale White Line station. And that's another thing I forgot to mention. White Line sits less than 5 minutes away, walking distance from it, depending on how you walk, because there's a street here. This is the Riverwalk, and then you have the street that's less than a minute away, half a block away. Then you walk down, and like 2 blocks away, then you're on Broward Boulevard, where the White Line station is at. I don't know if we're gonna get to the White Line station in tomorrow's episode, because that's further away from Riverwalk, but so White Line station is less than 5 minute walk away. For me, it'll probably be like maybe a 2 minute walk, 2 to 3 minute walk, depending on, because I walk fast, but depending how traffic is, because like I told you, the street here has a lot of night traffic and a lot of traffic, because there's a lot of bars and restaurants and stuff like this. So there's a lot of foot traffic and there's a lot of vehicle traffic. So you gotta wait till cars go by and stuff like that. So and then Broward Boulevard, there's heavy traffic. So getting across Broward Boulevard, it's a little, because it took me about a minute to cross Broward Boulevard, because I crossed one side, and then crossing the other side, it took me a minute. I had to wait till the light change for the cars to go by, because I couldn't wait for the cars to stop. I couldn't wait for, there was no cars across the street. I had to wait till the change. Oh look, there's a boat going under the bridge. Wow, look at the boat going under the bridge. Now that boat was small enough to go under the bridge. Now, this is something I've never seen, and actually you're getting an opportunity to see it as well. I've never seen a boat go under that bridge, and I've seen boats go through the bridge, but that's only because and as you see, the water is brushing up against the rocks over here. But to me, that's the small boat, and I would never get on a boat that small, because if anything was to happen, and like see how some of the boats are rocking now because of the waves from a boat. I've been on a boat in Miami and at night, and when there's a boat that comes, I've learned that the boat that you're on has to turn a certain way. So when another boat comes by and the waves are hitting the boat, it doesn't impact the boat as much as it would. And it kind of got that the boat was moving and rocking a little bit, but it wasn't rocking as much because, the impact of the boat wasn't bad, because the boat that we was on, I was on a party boat, which is a boat, well, it was like a sightseeing boat, but at nighttime, on weekends, they use it as a party boat. It turns into like a dance club on the seas. You go out for 90 minutes and you're dancing and stuff like that on the boat and all that. It turned into like a little boat nightclub on the, but in the daytime they use it for sightseeing. And I was on it at night, and so that's basically what it is. But yeah, I've never seen the boat go on a bridge like that, and actually that was shocking, because I literally you could lose your life. And everybody I know probably had to duck. And if your boat is that small enough to go under that bridge, that's a boat I don't want, because that's one of them boats that I like a big boat, like a cruise boat, where I know if an impact of the water is not going to impact the boat. Like, let me go on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise. But enough about this. Let's get back to at hand. You know, I'm ramping it on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And I was trying to get, you know, to see what train is coming, because I know there's a train that's coming. Maybe it's a bright line, maybe it's the northbound, maybe it's the southbound, because I know this is around the time that the bright line train should be coming. But there's an understanding of all of this. You know, this is the nightlife is beautiful. I love this nightlife because it's beautiful. It's a scene. You know, like I said, when you go across the bridge, well, actually, there isn't a train coming, because they, like I said, they let the train bridge down 10 to 15 minutes or so prior to the train departing. Now, as you see over here, there is a pedestrian walkway across the tracks where the pedestrians can walk across the tracks to get to the Los Olas area. Now, they have a guardrail, the one that goes ding, 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 and lets down for like the cars and pedestrians. That has not come down yet. So that lets you know that the train has not yet approached the area. So that will let you know eventually when the train is approaching. But this railing has to come down at least 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes prior to the train coming, to secure the tracks, so that there is no interruptions with the train. Because you can't let the tracks down 5 minutes before the train coming. You know, you got to let it down at least 10 to 15 minutes. I would say maybe 15 minutes prior to the train coming, you know. But it could be 10 minutes. I mean, we've been talking for about a good maybe 5-10 minutes or so, and, you know, whatever. So it could be 15, it could be 20 minutes, you know, just as much. I was trying to get an understanding of the train. When the train comes, if it comes within time, that's what we'll end the show, because I'm going to do part 2, as I said, tomorrow. A part of, you know, I'm showing you the nightlife of Riverwalk, and I'm going to show you the daytime life of Riverwalk and how it looks in the daytime. Just nighttime looks a little bit beautiful because you have a lot of buildings that light up at night, and a lot of the buildings look nice. Like right here, you can't see it, but I can see it. There's like a strobe light or like a string light shining in the air. You know, like a lot of clubs like to shine like little lights in the sky to say, hey, come to my club or come to my venue. But you can't really see it because how the lighting is in the daytime or whatever. But yeah, this is beautiful. I like to come, you know, over here, and sometimes I like to sit out here, and, you know, it's like a relaxing thing, and it relaxes you. It makes you feel, you know, unique and stuff, and it gives you a, you know, an understanding. An understanding of how, you know, there is, you know, areas in Miami, like there is a that's the thing I forgot to mention. There is a Riverwalk in Miami. You know, there's a Riverwalk Miami. I've walked that too. It's kind of not as appealing as here, because the Riverwalk in Miami, they have buildings that are not being used, and they're like run down, and some of them used to be restaurants. Again, in the Riverwalk area, a lot of people, well, I'm not saying it doesn't happen here, because it does happen here, where the homeless people are out here. As you know, the train guard rail is coming down. I don't know if you can hear it. So that means the train is approaching. Now, if it's a southbound bright line train, that means it'll be coming from this way. I mean, a southbound bright line train going north, that'll mean it'll be coming from this way. If it's a northbound bright line train, that'll mean it'll be coming from this way. I mean, train coming from southbound. Oh, there's a train coming, and it's a bright line. There's the bright line. There's the bright line. So this will have to be the last bright line train going to West Palm Beach. You know, There, I believe, is one more bright line coming, but I don't think we're gonna do that episode. I mean, I don't think we're gonna catch that train because I don't know when I know the last train leaves, Miami around in the 11 o'clock hour, and it gets to Broward in the 12 o'clock hour, and probably into West Palm Beach close to the 1 o'clock hour. Oh, the tracks guardrails are going up, so that means this is it. Okay, I'm gonna cut this short. I just wanted you to see the train. The bridge is probably gonna come up in a little bit, but I'm not gonna wait because it's gonna probably take another 5 to 10 minutes before the bridge come up, and probably the bridge is gonna stay down because maybe there's another train coming. Basically, this bridge was used for only transporting cargo because there was no passenger commuter rails on this bridge until a couple of years ago when Brightline came about, and then they started using Brightline. So this was just only for cargo transporting. This is the Roundtable Talk. If you have any comments, questions, or anything you would like to add, you can comment at the bottom of this page. You can also email us, roundtable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to it is going up. I'm surprised because normally it takes a couple of minutes or so for the tracks to come up. So actually the tracks is coming up. So wow, you get to see it. As I was saying, email me, roundtable00@yahoo.com. You can also comment at the bottom of this page if you would like to know information or have any questions or comments about this episode. If you have comments or questions about previous episodes, as you can see, there's a boat coming by. I guess he was waiting on the tracks to come up, I guess, because he didn't want to be a part of the go under the tracks and lose my head. So, but this is the episode of Roundtable Talk. Don't forget, we're doing part 2 of this tomorrow in the daytime. This is the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money. I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep on, stay tuned for part 2 tomorrow. Don't forget to check out our previous videos. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe button to subscribe to our channel to get updates on our shows, on this show, our previous shows, and our new episodes coming up in the near future. Don't forget, like I said, email us, roundtable00@yahoo.com. I'm sorry. Stay blessed, stay safe. We are still in a pandemic. Hope everybody's out there staying safe. Hope everybody's out there keeping themselves good. It's the Roundtable Talk. I'm your host, C Money. I will see you in the next episode, which will be tomorrow, hopefully. And I'll see you next time. Have a nice day.